Welcome to the last part of the course, Optimal Control. And in this part of the course, I am going to discuss the optimal control based on dynamic programming. And if you see the central idea of dynamic programming, so that is based on very much intuitive concept that is called principle of optimality. So before discussing the optimal control, I am going to first tell you the concept of principle of optimality, and using that concept further we discussed the controller design or optimal control design. So if we see the optimal control problems, we have a certain dynamical system. We have already discussed a lot about this, and I have some performance measure that is also called performance index, and there are basically two different ways to solve optimal control problem. So one principle that is called Pontryagin minimum principle, and second one is called the Bellman dynamic programming. So that is actually developed by Bellman. Actually what happens that around 1930 or 40, computer start evolving. So using the use of digital computer, how to solve optimal control problem, that is basically given by Bellman, and that is known as Bellman dynamic programming. And I have already discussed a lot about Pontryagin minimum principle, and based on this principle we have seen that how to solve some problem with state constraint as well as control constraint. We have also discussed about the minimum time problem, minimum fuel problem, and a lot of different aspects of this Pontryagin minimum principle. In this part of course, we are basically discuss the aspect of Bellman's dynamic programming. And if you see the name, the technique is called dynamic programming. So word dynamic is actually here because it is technique based on computer programming and suitable for the dynamical system. So dynamical system, we know that what is meaning of dynamical system, that we are going to consider those class of system which is evolved with respect to time. And the dynamic programming is discrete multi-stage optimization problem in the sense that each of the finite set of time a decision is chosen from a finite number of decisions based on some optimization criteria, and we know what is that optimization criteria. That is exactly same like the performance measure. And I have already told you that the central theme of dynamic programming, so DP represents here dynamic programming, is based on simple intuitive concept that is called principle of optimality. So before going to dynamic programming, let us discuss what is meaning of principle of optimality. So if you see the optimal policy, so meaning of optimal, whenever we are talking about optimal policy, so what optimal policy is suggesting, that whenever some policy is optimal, has certain kind of property, and whatever the previous state and decision here means for our purpose that is nothing but control, remaining decision must be constitute an optimal policy with regards to the state result from the previous decision. So try to see here, suppose I have to move from one point to another point. So if you see the dynamical system I have, so similar kind of problem I have. So x dot equal to if I represent dynamical system ut and t, and what is our objective? We have to move from here to here in some optimal way, x0 to xtf. So this kind of, and we have certain kind of performance measure. So we have to make sure that we are going to minimize this particular performance measure. So what basically this policy is suggesting, that suppose I have to move from point A to point B, and if I know the cost of section, this section from A to C, I have cost that is JAC, and corresponding to section B I have cost JBC. So we know the individual cost, and they are not depending each other. They are independent with respect to each other. Then optimal cost from here to here, that is nothing but the linear combination of individual cost. So what does it mean? Whenever you are moving from one point to another point in optimal way, and if you see any segment, that particular segment is optimal in some sense. So that is the meaning of the optimal policy. So using optimal policy, first we are going to solve very simple problem, and that is aircraft routing problem and or telephone network problem. So suppose I have two cities. Suppose I am considering the aircraft routing problem, similar kind of problem also with telephone network, and I have to move from, suppose I am considering the aircraft, so I have to move from this point to this point, and between these 2 points I have several different city. So here city, you can see that cities are located as C, D, E, F, H and G, and suppose I have to make sure such that if I move from A to B, similarly B to A in backward direction, such that whatever cost here, whatever these are nodes and these are the edge, you can define same like graph theory. Then this particular quantity 2, 4, 5, 3, 5, 3, these are the cost associated if you travel from one point to another point. So some kind of cost, some kind of performance measure is associated with this particular problem, particular aircraft routing problem. You can also interpret that whenever we are moving from one city to another city using aeroplane, at that time control effort means whatever petrol that I am going to use or whatever fuel I am going to use, that is our performance measure. So for simplicity I am just using some kind of number I have here. Now question is that how to travel with optimal cost between these two cities A to B, and intermediate I have several cities, and suppose I have to take 5 steps in order to solve this problem. So I have 5 steps. So we have two different ways. Either I have to move from here to here, so I will start in backward fashion, and after that I will see, because from the optimal principle or optimality principle, what we have seen that if from path from here to here, that is optimal. So if you see any individual segment, that is also optimal. So that kind of things we have. So due to that reason, either I can move in forward direction or backward direction, results remains the same. So now let us first try to solve problem in backward way, and that is natural choice, because most of time whenever I have to reach from point A to B, so if we move in the backward direction, then most of time solution of problem become easier. So how basically we are solving? So we are here, so cost associated means if you are here, then there is no cost associated at this point, because I am going to start from this particular point. So I am going to assume that cost associated here, that is equal to 0. Now here you can see that whenever I have to now make sure that move from this point to this point such that I have some kind of optimal solution, or some kind of optimal solution, or some kind of optimal way I can able to move from here to here, or I will minimize the whatever performance measure from here to here. So same kind of statement I have. So if I am here, then I will see the nearby city. So I have one city here and one city here, and you can see that if I take this path, then in this particular path performance is 2. So either you can assume that here I will apply some amount of control such that I will move from B to H, and then cost associated with that is 2. Now if I will take this path, then cost associated with this path equal to 3. After that, once suppose if you select any one, suppose if you selected this path and or this part, then nearby of this, now I have three different things. You can see that I have this, another I am going to change the color. So I have this, and after that I have this. And after that, what I am going to see, what I am going to do, so once I recorded this cost, then I am going to update this cost here, that is 2, and this point I have 3. And after that, what I am going to do, from here to here, you can see that whatever cost, then that cost is nothing but 6, 3 plus 6, that is 9. Here I have two choices, 8, or from here I have 5. So what I am going to do, I am going to take the least choice. And similarly, from 2 to H to E, this is 4. So this I am going to update like 6. So, and after that, based on this choice, means B to E, B to F, B to G, I am going to select. I am going to so for time being you can do not do selection, just you can update like this. Again, what you can do, you are here, suppose you are here, so try to see the nearby point. So nearby point is this and this. So I have 5 plus 4, so this is 9, and similarly here 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. So I am not going to take 11, I am going to select least one. And similarly, if I am here, then 5 and 2, so this is 7, and in another way 9 to 2, 12. So out of this I am going to select the minimum one, 7. Now here you can see that 7 plus 4 is 11, 9 plus 2 is 11, 11 is okay in both cases. So in this way, what I will do, I am able to understand that total cost is 11, and in order to achieve 11, now try to see that what kind of path I can take. So either I can take this route, then cost is 11, or if I will take another route, I have another possibility also. If I will take this, then I can tell that whatever total cost associated between B to A, because I am solving backward problem, that is optimal cost. And you can assume that if I have to move, if you are here, then you can select two direction. Two direction means one you can interpret as a left and right. And suppose in order to move left, if you apply u equal to -1, then assume that in order to move right, that is +1, or vice versa you can apply. And in this way you are able to design the control strategy also. Now same kind of things basically we have written here. We have updated the cost, and after that we have told that either this path or this path, both path will give us the optimal solution. Another way is you can use the forward and similar, whatever things I have told you. Again you can start from here, and from here, because I have to move from A to B, so A cost is 0, and after that now you can see that I have two choices, either C and D. So C is 2, so you have updated 2, and after that 4, and after that from D try to see the nearby CT, so that CT is F and G, so 4 plus 2 that is 6, 4 plus 3 that is 7, and if you have 2 and 3 solution, so try to see the all cost and minimum cost you have to select, and whatever minimum cost that is given by some CT between C to F, that is the direction, our direction. So here you can see that both way cost is same. Due to that reason, either I can move in this way or this way, that doesn't matter. Still our solution remains optimal. So either you can apply backward way or forward way, both are equally fine, but it is better that you can go via backward way. That is natural. Most of time that is easier also whenever you have higher dimensional problem. And due to that reason, in this course and in this lecture of dynamic programming, I am going to take the backward solution, or meaning of backward solution means if I know the final state, so from final state what I am going to do, that I will take this as a reference cost, means cost associated with this, whatever cost associated with this, if I start here, that is 0 or some non-zero value, whatever, if something is given, and after that I will start, and using the principle of optimality, after that total cost is just the linear combination of all cost. So now before going to solve this particular problem, what I am going to do, I am going to illustrate one particular problem which is based on this principle of, or we are going to solve using the backward manner. And now what is our role? Our role or our aim to design optimal control using whatever principle we have just seen. What we will do, we will identify one node as a reference node, and after that from that, or whatever, if my problem is to move from one point to another point A to B, so I will take B, or in terms of dynamical system XTF, that is the initial point, and after that I will move to backward, and after that I will reach to XT0. In that way we are going to solve. If you see the nature of dynamic programming, so I have already told you that is basically discrete in nature. Whenever I talk about the Pontryagin minimum principle, or whatever the variational calculus to solve optimal control, everywhere I have taken the continuous system. But if you want to use this dynamic programming, at that time what you have to do, you have to first represent your system into discrete way. And for that, suppose I have some system, so and input and output associated with this system, I am assuming that output is nothing but all states variable, both are continuous. So what I am going to do, I am going to apply analog to digital converter. So after applying analog to digital, some kind of analog to digital way of conversion, this is converted as a discrete signal. So this is discrete sequence. Similarly, in this side, after once I will update my control, once I will design control, at that time again my system is only able to understand the continuous signal, so I have to do reverse processing, means digital to analog conversion, and I am assuming that control sequence. So in discrete time system we are telling sequence, we are defining everything in terms of sequence. So in this way what happens, that if you see this system, now my input output system is like this. So I am giving discrete input, and I am getting, or whatever state, I am assuming that all states are going to reflect on the output. So whatever state I am going to get, that is also in discrete in nature, and this is called discretized system. Now what I am going to do, I am going to represent my discretized system like this: xk plus 1 equal to, this is nonlinear function, F S Sk, Uk and K. K is the time step, same like time in case of continuous time system we are considering. Here we are going to consider the time step. And here again I am assuming that Xk belongs to Rn and Uk I have R number of control input. And if you remember, in the continuous case, everywhere I am representing system dynamics like x dot equal to a x t ut and t. So in this part of the portion, in order to make some kind of difference between continuous and discrete, what I am going to do, I am going to consider this as a F as a dynamical system, discrete time dynamical system. Now performance measure Ji, that is J is defined like, so if you remember continuous case, at that time I am using H as a some kind of functional, here S, and that is function of the final step XKF and KF, and this is the inside term and that is function of XK and UK. Now what I am going to do, I have to find the optimal control or optimal control sequence U star K, which applied to the system gives a optimal state at that particular instant. Because we are able to understand now that principle of optimality is suggesting that if path from A to B that is optimal, then each sequence of path should be optimal. And due to that reason, we are just talking about some kth sequence. So I am assuming that if I apply some kind of optimal control U star K, then I am getting some kind of optimal state corresponding to that. Again, what we are going to assume, we are assuming that optimal control state and cost for all value starting from K plus 1, K plus Kf plus 1 to Kf, or K plus 1 to Kf, you can tell. Then at any time or stage K, we use the principle of optimality. I have several times I have repeated this. And after that, what we have to do, we have to minimize this. So I have this quantity. If you see this quantity, so this quantity is nothing but whatever I have here. So this, and after that I have the previous cost, or we are moving in backward way. So backward way means I have this final cost, and after that whatever cost I have, that should be minimal for all K. So we have to make sure, and this particular equation is functional equation of dynamic programming. So using computer I can able to solve this this particular programming, and here I have also retained the interpretation. So if one had found the optimal control state and cost from any state K plus 1 to final state that is Kf, then one can find the optimal value from a single stage from K to K plus 1. That is actually suggestion from the principle of optimality. So same kind of things we have basically used in order to write that equation. Now let us try to see one dynamical system, and again I am going to assume that I have certain kind of performance measure, same like the continuous time system. So terminal state cost is involved here, and after that inside the integral, so integral is converted as a some kind of summation, and we know that continuous summation is integral or finite summation. Here in place of continuous summation I am going to replace the finite summation in case of discretized system or discrete time system. So either you have discrete system, in some system is inherently discrete, so at that time I can use as it is this principle. If I have continuous time system and if I want to apply the dynamic programming, at that time first I have to discretize this system, and after that I have to formulate the performance measure, and I have to use the idea of optimality. So for simplicity, what I am going to assume that Kf equal to 2. So Kf equal to 2, it means that I am going to solve problem from K equal to K0, you can take 0, so K0, 0 to 1. And now what I am going to assume that since control is discrete, and what I am going to assume further that this control is again constrained. I have constraint on the control is varying between -1 to 1, and k instant, since discrete time system, so I have 0 instant, 1 instant or second instant, and I have this amount of control only. So -1, 0.5, 0, 0. Plus 0.5 and plus 1. So I have quantized value of the control action, and after that what I am going to assume that state also that is quantized. So state can take these value only. So this is discrete time system. So what I am going to assume that corresponding to each step of control, I have some kind of discrete input only, not continuous input I am going to consider, just I am going to consider the discrete input. Now what I have to do, find the optimal control sequence I have to find, and state xk that will minimize this kind of performance measure, because I have fixed kf equal to 1. So 2 kf equal to 2 I have fixed, so 2 minus 1 that is equal to 1. Now what I will do, I am going to do solution in backward way. So due to that reason I am going to start from a stage that is k equal to 2. So if you see the k equal to 2, because kf is 2, then at that time what happens, that I have a state that is x2, and I have a state equation. I have we have already seen in this particular problem that our state equation that is given like this. So this particular system, so I have taken this particular discrete time system or discretized system. So I have this particular system, and after that now I have, these are the admissible value of the control and states, and after that we know the for this example we know that control is just these kind of things. What now we are going to do, we are going to calculate the control the next state x2 for each value of control. So I have control sequence that is -1, 0.5, 0, 0.5 and 1, and x1 what I am going to assume that x1 equal to, initially x1 equal to 2 I am going to assume. So you can see that what kind of things I am going to do. I am going to start from 2 and I have to reach to 0, suppose. So due to that reason I have selected the second step, and after that x1 that is 2. Now if you see the 2 and corresponding to -1, this is 1, again 2, so x1 is 2 everywhere. So 0.5, then this, and these two values that is not allowed. Why? Because discretized state and state is only lying from 0 to 2. We have already seen that. I am just going to consider x1. I have taken this for this particular example, and after that I have this. You can take any value of x1 in between. Suppose if you know some other initial condition, and after I am just taking this initial condition, but I solve problem for all possible initial conditions. Now I have to minimize this particular quantity. So half u square, half x square. So this is inside the performance measure, and after that this is the cost. And if you see k equal to 2, at that time terminal cost we have seen that is like this. So from performance measure itself you are able to identify the terminal cost. So let us again come back to the performance measure. You can see that this is the terminal cost. So and after that what I am going to do, so this particular cost, whatever I have written here, that is j star k plus 1, that is nothing but I am telling that j k f I have defined. So final cost whatever that is associated, and after that I am going to calculate the value. So jkf for 2. So if x2 equal to 2, so for each state, whatever possible state we have, so for a state I am assuming that xt state is bounded from 0 to 2. Due to that reason, at each constant means quantized state, I am going to calculate this terminal cost. And after that, now what we are going to do, we are going to make one table, and table, inside this table you can see that what I am going to do, I am going to use these two equations. One equation in order to get the next state x2, and another equation that I am going to see the cost from 1 to 2, 2 to 1 or 1 to 2, whatever you can tell. So this is terminal one, and after that this is the integral. So one is just associated here. So from that particular particular performance measure you are able to identify. So what I am going to do now I am going to start with 2, and we have already seen that if state equal to 2, and if I will put x1 equal to 2 and u1 I will vary, I know that sequence of u1 that is varying from -1 to 1. So I will put each and every value, each and every possible value. So I have substituted each and every possible value, and after that I have guessed the next state. And after guessing the next state, one thing I have to remove, that if some quantity that is greater than 2, because I know that state is just going to lie between 1 to 2. So whatever other, it means that this is not permissible control. It means that now what I am going to do, I am going to calculate the cost. So in order to calculate the cost, I am going to substitute everything inside this. So now I know u1, I know x1, and I know the I know the x2. What is my x2? From here I know, and after that, based on that, I will calculate the cost. And after calculating all cost, what I am going to do, I am going to apply the principle of optimality. So I have to select minimum one. If two are same, then I will select both. And in that way, now you can see that corresponding to this, actually minimal cost comes into picture. After that, what I will do, I will identify the control corresponding to that, and after that, next state corresponding to that. So that is 1 point here, that is 1.5, and this represent the first step. So we are at first step, means current state is first. So due to that reason, I have written 1, and this is the control amount of control I have applied 0.5. So similar way, what you can do, you can construct this table for each and every possible current state. So our next state, because I know that I have a state, permissible state, that is between 0 to 2, and that is quantized by 0.5. So I have 2, 1.5, 1. So you have to do this kind of calculation for each and every possible state. So because I do not know when means what is initial condition of this system, due to that reason I have to do for each and every state. So 1.5, again I will do same kind of calculation. Here you can see that two quantity cost is exactly same. So I have to I have to write down the both control. So both is feasible. Similarly, I will do for 1, and here you can see that I have started from 0.5, and after applying control, if you remains the same, that is apart from the 0, then you have to remove that, because you are applying -1, and after that you are leaving here, and again you can minimize. Similarly, here you can see that I have started from -1, and I am 0, I am at 0, and I have to move from any other point to 0. So after applying minus control some -1, if I am at 1 or 0.5 means positive value, then I have to remove that again. So 0. So here if I am at 0.5, then I will remain there. So that is okay. Again I will calculate the minimal cost. Now what I have to do, similarly, since here kf equal to 2, so stage 2 means I have to move in backward direction. Now what I am going to do, I am going to make the relation between 1 and 0. So similar kind of things I will solve. So and here, just here, I have to take value from this particular table. So you can see that here I have already constructed table for this particular optimal cost. So that kind of cost I have to add here. And after that, now again you have to complete this particular table, and after completing this particular table, so please go through it, and try to complete this table for each and every possible value. So you can see one by one I'm going to show you. So I have started with 2, and after that I have calculated the current state, next state, cost, and after that what I am going to do, I am going to apply the optimal cost, and after that I will calculate the control again. I am defining like that what is my current state and where I have to go 0 and what kind of control action I have to apply. Once you will do, you can also do same kind of things for 1.5, 1.0, 0.5, and after that what you can do, now you have to come here and you have to make some kind of grid between k and xk plus 1. So here you can see that at this particular grid point I have 0 0 0 state, I have 0, and after that I am going to write cost associated with this. So cost we have already calculated. So cost, you can see from this table I have calculated the cost. So 3.5, 1.85, and after that I have 1, and similarly I have 0.25. So and after that 0. So same kind of things basically I'm going to note down here in this particular. At this point again, whatever cost we have seen in this in the first table, I am going to write all cost. So from here 0, 0.25, 0.75, and 1.15. So all cost I will write, and I know the terminal cost also. So terminal cost I am going to write in last, and after that I know the direction of control also from the table. So now what we have seen, that if I am at 2, then I will explain you this row. So you can see that you are at 2, and after that you try to see that if you want to move from 2 to 1 at that time, or try to see in backward way, if you are at 1 and if you are going to move to 2, then what kind of control you have to apply. So now from this table, if you see this particular table, so from this particular table you are able to guess that from where to where I have to move, and basically control is itself telling you that 1.5 to 0 if you will move, and then you have optimal decision. 1 to 0, then this is optimal decision. Similarly 1 to 0, then this is optimal decision, and in that way what you can do, you can make this kind of arrow. So based on control direction you can create this kind of arrow. Now suppose if you have to move from 2 to or something, you can take some state. Suppose that if you have to move from this state 1 to 0, from this to this you have to move. So try to see the cost from here to here, and whatever minimal cost, so you can take this particular path, and after that you can move from, you can apply first this control sequence, and after that you can apply this control sequence. So in this way, using the principle of optimality or dynamic programming, I am able to calculate the control. You can see that for higher order system this process is not so easy, particularly if you are going to do the calculation. Now let us come back to the our lecture again. So what we are going to do now, we are going to generalize whatever we have told. What I am going to do, I am going to take the discrete time system. So this is linear time invariant discrete time system. So LTI discrete time system, where A is again n cross n matrix, B is n cross R matrix. So B belongs to R n cross R, because we are assuming that U belongs to R. So like this. Now again I am going to define the performance measure, same like this. Now I think that this is obvious to everyone. Now to optimize the above functional and to apply principle of optimality, one may consider the cost function. So we can consider this particular value of cost function, and here if you see this matrix F and Q, so F and Q both are positive symmetric definite. So positive symmetric semi definite matrix you can able to take, but control should be not 0. So R matrix should be positive symmetric definite. It means that R you can also able to write like this. And after that, now what I am going to do, I am going to start from the final stage. So kf is my final stage. So kf, so from kf I am going to start. So I have selected I equal to kf. So if I equal to kf, then this is the cost, means because we are moving in backward direction. So whatever the, suppose I have to move from xt0 to xtf or xkf, you can write. So tf, in place of tf I am writing kf. So xk0 to kf I have to move. So I am going to just first see the terminal cost, and after that what I have to do, whatever optimal quantity I have to add. So same kind of things is reflected here. Now after that, what I am going to do, I am going to take I equal to kf minus 1, and I equal to kf minus 1 if you will take, then what happens, that here I, you have to update from kf minus 1. So kf minus 1 to kf minus 1, then I have this kind of term is going to come into picture. So I think that calculation is not so difficult. Now after that, what I am going to do, now after doing this process, I am going to apply the optimality. So before applying the optimality, you can see here that in terminal cost, here particularly I have xkf, and xkf I am able to write from the dynamical system, that is ax kf minus 1 and bx kf minus 1. So I am going to substitute this to these two places, and after that, in order to find the in order to make sure that this performance measure is optimal, the partial derivative of this quantity with respect to control, that should be equal to 0. So same kind of things we have, whenever we are applying the variational principle, at that time also we are doing the same. So this is the necessary condition, such that I will tell that J has some kind of extremum, and due to that reason, by putting this, I will get this kind of control. Now what I am going to do, I am going to control. So again I am going to recall the same stage. So this is my control, and after that, now what I am going to do, after applying this kind of optimal control, this is my closed loop system. So I am going to substitute that optimal control inside the performance measure, and after that I am going to combine all term and trying to write, because once you substitute control in this form, so everywhere u star term is going to disappear, and after that every term can express in terms of this, and it is possible to show that I have some kind of gain matrix. This is called Kalman gain matrix, people are telling like this. So by solving this particular equation, I can able to get this particular value of kf minus 1. So please just check it. So this is not a difficult calculation, and after that, now I am going to process towards the I equal to kf minus 2. So I am at kf minus 1. Now I am going to kf minus 2, and again I am going to do the same process, whatever process we have done. So again, in place of this, I am going to substitute kf minus 1, and after that, now here you can see that actually recollecting this. So we have really recollected this, and after that, what I am going to do, so kf minus 2, that is basically expressed like this. So kf is again like this. So this is a straightforward calculation. So just please check the calculation. So each time what I have to do, I have done for kf minus 1, and after that same process, whatever process we have done, we have going to do same kind of, repeat same kind of process for kf minus 2, and here again I have x transpose kf. This is terminal cost, we know, and again terminal, whenever we are terminal cost, I am going to express in terms of the dynamical equation, and this inequality we already know. So from here, from this particular inequality, again when we will consider j kf minus 2, at that time this term is updated like this previous term, because now this become the terminal point, and other remains the same. Again I will get the same kind of equation, and at kf minus 2, again I have to apply same kind of, I have to take, in order to check the necessary condition, again I have to, what we have to do, we have to take the partial derivative of j with respect to u equal to 0, and after that again, in order to find the closed loop control, I have to substitute it. And after substitution, you can see here that recollecting it, and after that what I am going to do, I am going to replace this by this, and after that pk minus f2. So initially I have pkf minus 1, now I have pkf2, and in terms of pkf2 I can able to write the optimal performance measure. And the last step, similarly what I will do, I will express same kind of things by further manipulation. It is possible to write that I am able to express same kind of things like this, because I have to express whenever I am designing some kind of control, I am designing control like this. So I have to write in this particular form. So in order to write this form, this is function of again k each step. So due to that reason, I have defined this kind of things, and I have expressed pkf minus 2 in form of this k matrix. So same kind, from here if you see, then things become very easy. So everything is just calculation, no idea, nothing new things are involved, just everything is calculation. Now if you will do at the I equal to k, then it is possible to show that I will get this kind of things. So in order to get this k, now just in last I have to solve this. K is defined like this, and after that I have to just solve this kind of Riccati equation. So by solving this Riccati equation, and I know that final value kf, that is equal to f, whatever matrix initially xkf, because if you see carefully, then I have x, I have, okay, we will see, and after that I will tell you that here again, please come back to the performance measure, then things become clear. So here you can see that x transpose kf and this f. So if I am at the terminal stage, and here whenever final control you can come, so kf at kf, that is f. So you know the kf, and after that we have to solve this equation. So solution of this particular equation, you can see that pk plus 1 and pk is involved here. So again, this is discrete equation, this is discrete Riccati equation. So you have to solve this discrete Riccati equation, you know the final point, so backward manner you can solve it, and after that you can define this kk, this control, and after that this is the optimal control. So finally I can tell that I equal to k, this is my optimal cost. So in this way, by applying dynamic programming, I am able to design the closed loop control, and closed loop control is given like this. So now it is time to conclude the lecture. So in this lecture we have discussed the dynamic programming. So we have applied dynamic programming to solve one very simple problem, and in that particular problem we have seen that if I have control and state both are constrained and only available at discretized instant, then how to solve that particular problem. And after that I have taken the generalized linear time invariant discrete time system, and using again the principle of optimality and dynamic programming, what we have seen that it is possible to solve, or it is possible to design the closed loop control, and whatever closed loop control gain of that control is coming from the Riccati equation, solution of Riccati equation. And there are various standard means method or various standard way in MATLAB to solve this discrete Riccati equation. So if you have discrete time system, then it is pretty easy to design the optimal control. So with this remark, I am going to close the today's lecture. So thank you very much.